just like that, the music's off again. It is 12:36 in the afternoon on the 4th of January 2021. It's a pain in the butt being old and being forgetful. Okay, things happening with Tucklow today. I am going to go film some in my truck. I just haven't had a chance to do that yet. Got Linda's car squared away where we can use it. I just used it to go to the grocery store. Brought back some victuals in 2 days on Wednesday. I'll be going back on radio with Spreaker. It's not the same Pakistani group that had it. Blog Talk Radio took them over. I think you call it a hostile takeover or whatever, but they bought them out Wednesday morning. The money that Spreaker owes me should be in my account. I've never had any problems ever out of Blog Talk Radio. They've always shot straight with me. Always did what they said they were gonna do. I mean, it's kind of weird. I had archives that I didn't know were collecting royalty payments for the 2 years I was offline, off radio with them. And the day I signed back up, the gal Amanda that does Blog Talk Radio, she's actually one of the executives, and informed me that I need to, she wanted to know if the routing number was the same, and I said, no, I've changed banks. I used to have them deposit to IBC Bank, so I gave her my new routing number. 15 seconds later, the money from the archives was in my account. It was $122, and that was a few months ago. That's not a lot of money, but considering I get like, it's kind of like MCI and all the other guys I pay into to use their music on my radio shows and elsewhere. They only pay pennies to the artist. And that is the standard protocol on all that stuff. I have friends in music. I've got a buddy, Barry Poole. You guys probably know him as Cletus T. Judd, which is his stage name. Barry, every now and then on Facebook, posts photographs of his royalty checks, and they're about the size of the ones I get from my books. Excuse me, that's one of the reasons I quit writing books. I got tired of not getting paid. And I'm actually carried by a couple of actual publishing companies, not counting the one I own. And it gets embarrassing. I have friends that are getting into it, and they think they're going to have these huge income amounts come in off their writing. It just doesn't happen that way. If you want to write a book, you can go to Amazon and contact CreateSpace and publish your own. You'll make just as much money off of that as you will having someone else publish. The only problem is most of the publishing houses in America are going broke. They really are. I mean, the pandemic has slammed into everybody. Big businesses, little businesses. One of the things that COVID-19, oops, there, I said the name. One of the things COVID did is it hit Hollywood, or Hollyweird as I like to call it, hit them very hard in the pocketbook. Netflix made a ton of money, and so did Amazon and a few other companies that were doing the live streaming. I mean, that's how my wife and I get almost all of our entertainment. Once in a while, we'll go into the parlor and sit down and watch a movie on the big screen television, and I want to do some of that this week. We just haven't gotten to in a while. It's kind of fun to sit there, hold hands, and eat popcorn and watch it. Uh, we've not done that in a long time. I'm feeling a tad bit better today than I have felt. I have a lot less blood coming out when I go to the bathroom. In my urine or feces, either one, there's a lot less blood. And that is an answer to prayers, I'm absolutely sure. God can and will heal people if you ask Him to, and you do it with a supplicating and pure heart, and the people praying for me are pure-hearted. And I do know God answers prayers. I absolutely do know that. It's helping my brother Chris. It's helping me. I'll never be the strong, virile young man I used to be. Just ain't going to happen. I've got too much wrong with me. But I am working on getting healthier. I really am. I'm working on it hard, actually. There are so many things wrong with me and so many things wrong with my brother that it's not surprising. And I'm going to reveal a little bit of family history on my mother's side. On my dad's side, mostly Indian. On my mother's side, now not mom that's mom now, but my birth mother. She did a lot of genealogy and chased her lineage all the way back to a guy named Johan Johansson, who was the son of Leif Erikson through one of his wives. Now, what that has to do with anything is they were considered royalty. I don't consider myself royalty, but one of the key marks on royal families, regardless of whether they were English, Irish, Scottish, Scandinavian, Germanic, whatever. My mother was Germanic, she's Scandinavian. Is a lot of incest took place. It wasn't, oh, let's be dirty and have sex with our kids or whatever. That's not what happened, and please excuse me for being gross addressing this. However, first cousins married all the time, 150 years ago. And see, my great-grandfather migrated over here from basically Austria. The family thought it was Germany, it was Austria. And from there, it went back to Norway, which is where the Vikings hailed from originally. Gotta get a sip. They were a godless people. They believed in Odin and all the old Norse mythical gods. My great-grandfather, William Lance, on my mom's side, was married to his first cousin when they came over here. And then he had a second wife after she died that was a Cherokee Indian woman. So that's where the little bit of Cherokee I got in me comes from. There were things that showed up genetically and it skips every other generation. The generation before me was my mother and her sisters. The generation before that was my grandparents. and the generation before that was my great-grandparents. The the issuance of genetic strains and genetic abnormalities manifests in a couple of ways. One is physically, the other is psychologically or mentally. My mother and her sisters all were abnormally smart, abnormally talented. They still are, my two remaining sisters. And my grandparents, my Papa Virgil, had siblings, very many siblings. One was a physical hermaphrodite. He had both male and female organs. I'm not trying to gross you out here. I'm just explaining what has happened to my brother and me. And he had one sister that had children, but she also displayed male behaviors and physical traits. She wasn't a hermaphrodite. But then you go to his children, my aunts and my mom, very beautiful women, very talented, very intelligent. But that skipping a generation thing landed squarely on my brother Chris and me and on my cousins. And what was that manifestation? Abnormally high IQ. I'm not bragging when I tell you this. Things come easy to me. They came easy to my brother Chris. They come easy to my cousins intellectually. I mean, I never had to study. It sounds crazy, and my wife despises that about me sometimes. Her sister's that way. Had a 4.0 grade average. Never had to study. Just zipped through it. Anything I put my hand to, I mastered. Whether it was music or whatever it was. My brother Chris is the same way. My brother Chris is a world-class guitarist. If he ever wanted to do that for a living, he never did. I did it some, but he chose making jewelry. I chose law enforcement and academia. But along with the landing on us with a higher IQ than normal people, physical ailments also hit us. Genetic ailments. And that's what's wrong with me. That's what's wrong with my brother Chris. That's what's wrong with my cousins in the Watkins clan. What's wrong with cousins in the Price clan or the Varner clan. All my cousins have those problems. Some of them are significantly younger than my brother and I and my older cousins. They haven't found out yet what's in store for them. Things happen that on a normal person doesn't happen. But what that is the genetic strain in us is trying to go ahead and stop the expansion. That is another thing that happens. And you'll have to figure that out. And I got sidetracked. And like I said, I'm not feeling real well today. Actually, I don't feel well at all, but my spirits are up. Linda's in the house taking a nap. Mom and John, I love you. Michael, Paul, I love you. Wednesday, I will start again. I've got to do all the paperwork for that. I don't know what time of the day I'm going to be scheduling, but unlike when I did it before with a Spreaker, this time I have to meet a schedule and keep it. And it'll probably be Thursdays, Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays, or Thursday, Fridays, and Saturdays like it was with Blog Talk Radio. I'll let all of you know on here what I'm going to be doing. It's work. I don't work unless I get paid as far as secular work. around the farm and in the family, my payment is seeing the joy on people's faces. Speaking of which, we got a new dog yesterday that my grandson Shine named Coffee. She's Lab and Rhodesian Ridgeback. She's 4 months old, and she's already taller than the other dogs, and she's never been an in-house dog, never been housebroken, and yet she's housebroken. That is a godsend. And she does demand attention. She's never gotten this much attention before. So now she's doing it. And to Linda, when you see this evening, and you will, you need to understand I am still smitten with you, girl. Will be the rest of my forever. Love all of you. God bless you. And today, try to stay calm and be kind. Bye.